Bill Graham is the former Defence Minister, former Foreign Affairs Minister of Canada, and former interim Liberal leader of the Liberal Party. Thanks for talking to me today.
Right, sure.
So what do you think of what you see so far?
Well, I'm very impressed by the amount of the turnout, the numbers, the enthusiasm that's here, the number of young people.
Yeah.
It shows that there's a lot of interest in the Liberal Party and a lot of people that feel the importance of the party the way I do. So I must say, I think everybody who's here is very enthusiastic about what's going on. I've been to 2 sessions which have been just completely overloaded with people that were there wanting to ask questions, participate. So the enthusiasm is terrific.
I wonder if you could comment on the direction of foreign affairs under the Conservative government. Do you think it's going in the right direction, wrong direction,
Well,
both on a few things, and if you could outline where you think it's going right or wrong?
Well, clearly there are some things that Canada's doing which are immutable, and for example, I think the present government, in terms of the Arctic, in terms of is at least getting a focus there. I would urge a stronger focus on other things in the environment, but I think their use of the Arctic Council recently has been very good. So there are certainly some very positive things. I think the focus on the Americas is very logical. When I was minister, I too wanted to focus more on the Americas, but at my time we were all distracted by the Iraq issue, and so a lot of these other issues you were not able to take up with the amount of energy you wanted to. In other areas, I would strongly argue, particularly the failure to use the multilateral institutions the way Canada traditionally did, is a failure of the present foreign policy, because it doesn't enable Canada to punch above its weight in a lot of areas where we have tremendous respect and could be using the assets, particularly our past reputation, and our role as an admired country around the world to affect change. So that's where I would argue that, at least in my view, the direction could be changed for the better for Canada and for Canadians.
Sure. I wonder if you could comment on multilateralism with respect to the developing situation in Iran.
Well, again, I mean, I think that's a very good example. I mean, I think a unilateral or a 1 or 2 state solution attack, if that's going to be the only way to solve Iran, as most of these huge issues, is a multilateral approach.
Through the United
You're not going to have the whole world, perhaps.
Through the United Nations or through NATO?
The United Nations is one instrument. As we learned in the case of Libya, there were several instruments. There was the Arab Council, there was the League of Arab States, there was the United Nations, there was NATO. So there's a lot of different international institutions there. We have to use them all for their purpose, but there's no question but that if we're looking at Iran, without at least having the acquiescence and support of Russia and China, any intervention is not going to be successful and could be potentially extremely dangerous.
Would you say it's legitimate without China or Russia?
Well, I think the responsibility to protect doctrine has pretty well accepted the fact that for legitimacy you have to have the Security Council support, because that's the ultimate voice of international responsibility in the world. Okay,
now you're the former, now let's get back to the present and where we are today. You're a former interim leader of the Liberal Party. There's this big question about Bob Rae and should he run or should he be held to his promise not to run? What is your opinion as a former interim leader?
Well, my view is that the party is doing very well under Mr. Rae. When you talk to the caucus members, the caucus is united behind him. I think there's a recognition that if he decides to run for the leadership of the party, he should be allowed to run for the leadership of the party. He is the one that is really fundamental about building it up today. He's one of the more respected politicians around the country. So I absolutely would support his ability to run again if that's what his decision is.